just going on YouTube. This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the second mixtape by Dirt Gang. Basically, this product is called Downsouth Dynasty, and it came out in the fall of 2011. So this is definitely a classic mixtape here, especially out of the early 2010s mixtape era as far as those pitches going to happen with it. If you don't know who Dirt Gang is, basically Waka Flocka's main wingman, basically one of Waka Flocka's main wingmen, Slim Duncan, basically had a crew that he had. So basically Gucci Mane had Slime, which was Waka Flocka had Slime, which was Slim Duncan, and then Slim Duncan had Slime, which was his group Dirt Gang. Some of these folks got a lot larger, like Derez Deshawn, who was also known as Debo back in these days. But I look within the pitch behind it, Dirt Gang was really starting to prospect. Right before Slim Duncan died, they were going to be like the next big thing, especially in like the mixtape scene they had. They did manage to drop at least 3 mixtapes, one of which came out in 2012 after Slim Duncan's death. But this is definitely a classic here, just to be able to say the impact. The first Dirt Gang project, which came out in the summer of 2011, the new NWA, we definitely had some good gems on there. Felt like Slim Duncan was a little bit more hands-on in that particular project, just within the pitch behind it. But that was definitely a rough draft version. Definitely had some excellence on there. Do recommend downloading that one. But these nowadays are getting a little bit trickier to find. I just would have to say within the tone behind it's definitely some good type of appeal. And I'll just go ahead and say off this particular mixtape here, the Dirt Gang mixtape, Downsouth Dynasty, I recommend every song on here just in the pitch. So it's easily going to get a 10 out of 10. They really upgraded from like the new NWA, despite the fact that Slim Duncan isn't on it as full blown. He wanted these folks to kind of have more shine as far as those pitch can have and be able to start substantiating their careers, which definitely has the appeal. There's some folks on here, Just Rich Gates, Day Day, J Mike, Debo, some of these type of folks, even though Debo's not really on it as much either. There's some new cats on here like Zeus the Don and Sir Walt the Great as far as those pitch can have, so it just has some good type of appeals for some of that. But yeah, this is a very inspired type project. This is definitely back when mixtapes in the early 2010s were in their prime, some of that type of fire, just vicious hit after hit after hit. And this is the same month that Slim Duncan and Waka Flocka dropped Twin Towers 2. So these were some litty type times as far as those pitch can happen. Slim Duncan definitely had a lot going on. This is the easy kind of classic project that just helms a lot of things. Just to be able to say, now there's 21 songs on this particular mixtape, and because I recommend all 21, I'm not going to go in on each and every one of these particular type songs. Just suffice to say that all of these are just mixtape drill, like in their prime as far as those pitches can happen. I am going to at least talk about 8 or 9 of these in particular, some of the immediate ones to kind of go for, but every one of these particular fashions. Now if you're not adapted to like drill and some of those type of pitches, if you're not like terribly familiar with like the prime era of like some of that Lex Luger type vibes, I think it's TM88, Southside Mafia, some of those type producers, some of those type pitches that were doing mixtape drill, and the regular 808 Mafia, some of those type folks that were kind of doing that back in like the 2009 to 2012 type era, 2013 as far as those pitches can happen. It's the concept that this is just drill hitter after hitter. A lot of this, there's some mixtape drill songs that are good for house parties, which is a pretty good type of appeal. Waka Flocka was real good about doing that. Now the unfortunate thing is, like I've been saying, Slim Duncan's not on here as full blown. He's kind of here in passing glances, but he does have at least gems on here. But the thing about a lot of these folks is they stand pretty well on their own as far as those pitches can happen. As long as you have the adaptation to being able to pay attention to as long as you have the adaptation to be able to pay attention to just the heavy hittingness of just drill and pitches like that. It's just kind of within the tone. It's a lot of good hitters on here, just standard, just furrow, just the pitch of just having some of that bravado. Basically it's just like a more group type affair, or something like Waka Flocka's Flockavelli, one of those type of pitches. If you like Waka Flocka's Flockavelli or Slim Duncan's Menace to Society, some of those type projects, just basically like a good house party type appeal and venue type appeal. It's just that standard craze, just getting stock hit after hit. It's basically like a Brick Squad Monopoly kind of compilation album as far as those pitches can happen, just more brought to you by Slim Duncan more so than Waka Flocka. So it's just within the pitch of being able to do it, and some real good type appeals. There are a few songs on here that are attempted to kind of be for more pop rap type appeal. It was kind of in the early stages. Most of this is just more night venue type turn up, which I definitely appreciate, but there are a few moments on here like Patron and Cranberry, which is at least a song for the ladies as far as those pitches can happen. This has like a little bit more melded type sound, kind of like Slim Duncan and Debo's NyQuil, some of those type pitches that just kind of tones it down for like more softcore type stuff as far as those pitches can happen. And then there's a song with Travis Porter called All Haters on Me that also aims for like some pop rap type appeal, like Travis Porter was kind of getting to, and like folks like Fast Life Youngsters, some of those type folks in like the summer of 2011, early 2012 as far as those pitches can happen. There's just some good type for that. But I do feel like this is just more trying to substantiate just like the concept of getting like that kind of street album type pitch, and just getting like the raw type stuff, the same vicious type vibe that Waka Flocka was trying to create with bringing back the concept of street albums, not just overly relying on like R&B singers and having like a more pop rap or just kind of treat for like more softcore type sounds. This is very much like a raw type album. Just the ruggedness is off the chain. Just the pitch behind being able to have some of this vicious type appeal for like some right out and just have some great excellent times within that. So it's just a great type feral type project. The unfortunate thing is I'm not sure if there are any music videos really on it, but in terms of the 21 songs in here, there are at least 4 songs that were also to be found on the first Dirt Gang project, which was the new NWA, which I do recommend downloading also within the pitch while you can still relatively find it. So some of these songs would be Pump Faking, Dumb Out, Pump Faking, Dumb Out, Offsides Remix, and there's like one more on here, $1 Million Trap by Debo, some of these type of pitches. So it's just kind of within the appeal. It's unfortunate that Debo really isn't on here that much. He kind of took a backseat on this particular project, and Slim Duncan is on here, but he doesn't have like signature songs, just like a solo song that he was trying to go in on, something like Lights On, one of those type of pitches, is kind of within the concept. But a lot of these folks do take the helm pretty well. So just to talk about some of these, I'm just going to get to some of these immediate type highlights. Like real vicious type one to kind of go for would be Pride in Our Heart. This is produced by Lex Luger, real nice one here. It's like a classic kind of early 2010s drill type song, kind of get just a stock quality, get gnarled and tore up type one to kind of have within that tone. Just hits hard like Hard in the Paint, some of those type ones that I had to say. There's some other ones like Up North Action Pack is a real nice one. This is one of the tape's most vicious, I would have to say. Definitely needed Slim Duncan or Waka Flocka on this particular song. Classic Lex Luger heat. It's like some classic Lex Luger heat to kind of get here in an easy slammer. Up North Action Pack just feels like a vintage kind of Flocka type tune. One of those type ones like Nick After Nick that was on Slim Duncan and Debo's like Block Legal, one of those type pitches. It feels like something within that typical fare, but the concept is handled real well. Has a nice menacing piano type beat, some of that type fare. I'm in it's a nice one as well as like a woozy kind of great house party after hours malaise kind of get here. Just smoke in the air. Definitely I'd have to say just a great expansion of like songs like Grove Street Party, some of those type pitches. So I do like some of these house party type appeals. Yeah, this really feels smoky. This also I'm in it also feels like a song that YG Hootie would have done in his mixtape run as far as those pitches can happen. Just real nice bop to kind of get that. Just songs like Tats and Straps and BSM Party, some of those type pitches by YG Hootie, and songs like Grove Street Party and some of those type of appeals, and No Hands by Waka Flocka, some of that just type house party sludge and sleaze as far as those pitches can happen. Just excellent type appeal. Real nice malaise on here that works. And Got a Lot of Bucks is a nice one. It's like a typical kind of crazy night politics to kind of get here. Just the Marinate and kind of Homies Gab type song. It's the Marinate and kind of Homies Gab type song kind of have within that pitch. A little bit less feral drill within this song, but still an exciting and red hot type song kind of get here. This one just kind of feels like a promo type single. Just kind of the pitch. It is something to kind of be introduced to as far as those pitch kind of happen. Not quite as crazy as some of these ones like Pride in Our Heart and like Up North Action Pack, some of those type pitches, but it is just an overall good type one. There are some melded type ones on here that really work extremely well. I'd have to say just the concept of this really has some great and excellent kind of night embrace to kind of get within that conduct. Just the aspect of red cup type music, hard liquor everywhere, some of those type pitches, hell of it, just twerking just within the tone behind it, just good type fare. And another nice one within that sense that's a little bit more melded is I'm Just Thuggin' Out. This is a nice, tamer, but still superb kind of Lex Luger club glitz kind of get here. Just a routine night of festivities. Good song to go haywire to. I'm Just Thuggin' Out and Miss 100 are some real nice ones produced by Lex Luger. To talk further about I'm Just Thuggin' Out, I do like all these Lex Luger productions on here. He really just polished off a lot of these particular beats and nailed them extremely well as far as those pitches can happen. It's really an adaptation. When you think of Lex Luger really getting burnt out after past like 2012 or 2013, he had some real nice hits in his prime. These are just some ones that just don't seem as commonly known about within that fare behind it. So these are some excellent type ones. I feel like I'm Just Thuggin' Out is just a more sparkly type one, just some real nice, good type appeals to kind of have. Just standard night of just the enjoy as far as those pitches can happen. Just good continuedness of having some lit times, not quite as crazy as some of these ones, but just within the appeal, just that standard continuous of just having further hits as opposed to just a few. Just works for that. Miss 100's a nice one as well. It's like a further in the night, kind of cups up, kind of shrill ambience to kind of get here. Just long-winded excellence to kind of have within this. Just get crunk and enjoy the time as far as those fares going to happen. Miss 100 just feels like a calmer version of Jeezy's Trap or Die, I'd have to say. Daily Basis is a quality one as well. It's like more night commerce and vicious kind of ride out type music to kind of get here. Just a stock night run and drill highlight I would definitely feel like here, and this is a good song for snacks and to toke up. Yeah, I would say Daily Basis is just like that 36 Mafia type fare, just some night commerce, just gas station runs, some of that typeness, just that night excitement, just some good type demon time type thrills as far as those pitches can happen. It's a good type of appeal for that. It's another stock one. One of the crazier ones on this particular product, along with Pride in Our Heart and Up North Action Pack, some of those type ones. I'm Killing Them is a vicious one, as well as like a nice syrupy kind of in-between club gem to kind of get just more of like a primer for showing up, I'd have to say here. Just some pull-up excitement. I would definitely feel like a pretty litty song. It's within the tone behind it, so there's definitely some cruise around type music. Surprisingly, there's not a ton of just like vehicle knock on this particular product. It's actually more, I do like the concept of all these go ham type songs within the pitch, really getting rowdy for the night. This is pretty much like the crest of like something just where like it's going to be like Ella shots, beer pong, some of those type pitches. Just one of the more pitch type, crown type party nights. It's really some festive type times, great Halloween type music pitches like that, some good feralness to kind of get within some of those type tones, I'd have to say. But this is a nice one for just that thump of just getting ready to have the excitement of like, hey, I'm getting ready to show up and folks are going to be excited as far as those pitches can happen. Just a great time, just like, yep, I'm here, deuces, as far as those pitches can happen. What up, though? Some of those type pitches that I had to say within it, so it's good type tones. Trapping Like Swish is a nice one, as well as like a vicious kind of stock hitter. Trapping Like Swish is an excellent one, as well as like some vicious kind of stock hitters from early 2010s, I'd have to say. Just loud pack Lex Luger vibes about this particular song. Definite night venue drill hitter to kind of get within that fare. Yeah, but Trapping Like Swish is definitely one of the crazier ones on here. Some of these type ones I've described. A lot of these Lex Luger type productions, but the thing about Trapping Like Swish is actually this is produced by Metro. I'm not sure if that's Metro Boomin or who in particular that is. I don't know how many producers go by the name Metro, but this might be Metro Boomin from like Future Lore as far as those pitches can happen. But it is a nice one to kind of get. It's standard stock kind of quality the drill type bop to kind of get within that tone. This really feels like Waka Flocka should show up anytime on this particular song. It's one of those stock type ones, just like Lotta Gun Sounds and Hard in the Paint, some of those type of ones, some of those type of appeals that Waka Flocka would normally nail these. Just the standard crew on here. So I do feel like within the tone, these folks actually do have some good concepts. It may seem like some of these folks are just vanilla within the pitch as they're doing it, but the quality of the music exceeds like the concept of like the notoriety that these particular rappers had in terms of their popularity. So I would just keep that in mind. But About Them Bands is another good type one to kind of get here as well. This one's pretty similar to like Got a Lot of Bucks, I'd have to say. Just a good, nice one here. But this is basically About Them Bands like a Leary kind of neighborhood after I was drilled, turn up to kind of get within that. About Them Bands like a Leary kind of neighborhood after I was drilled, turn up to kind of get within that tone. Just some dope local drill to kind of have within that. This is what I was talking about with some of these drill type songs. Not necessarily being about just getting hammered at a night venue or dance club, some of those type of feels, but just some more localized type pitch, just more red cup type music, just around the neighborhood, pitches like that. Seeing Standard Hood Rats and Thoughts and Hoochie's pitches like that as far as those fairs can happen. To standard fare for some of that, just keeping it local as far as those pitches can happen. It's like some good woozy kind of homies conduct to kind of get here. So it's just the appeal behind it. Really nailed the social appeal of this project out of the park. It's just the aspect that a lot of these just feel underappreciated nowadays. I don't know how many full-blown downloads this project got back in DatPiff back in the day. I look within it, I'd probably say from what I remember, Slim Duncan's Menace to Society might have gotten like 50,000 downloads. I don't think it got to like 100,000 or 200,000, something like that. I do know that Twin Towers 2 was probably Slim Duncan's largest mixtape, I'd have to say, in terms of his popularity before he passed. But I look after it, considering that these folks were on the come up and were Slim Duncan Slime, who was in the process of blowing up as well. I'd say maybe this had like 8,000 downloads, something like that. I don't know, it's full blown, but it's just not as commonly talked about. There weren't actually a ton of places that particularly had this mixtape, so it's just kind of here and there. I suspect if you were to find this on YouTube, some of these songs would probably have like 4,000 or 8,000 plays after 13 years later. But this one in the pitch, some good type appeals still. But yeah, there's just some good ones on here. I did like the song Pop Tags with Slim Duncan and Day Day, some good type pitches. Possibly Slim Duncan, I might say that possibly Slim Duncan was getting ready to get Day Day to blow up next as far as those pitches can happen. Now I know that Day Day at least dropped mixtapes, but maybe he would have done like a collaboration mixtape with them like he did with Debo, some of those type of appeals. Not, it's, you know, we'll probably never know nowadays, but it's just within the pitch behind it. There's just some excellent type ones on here to kind of get some of these type of ones. I did like the song My Story, My Grind with Debo. This is a real nice one to kind of have. My Story, My Grind by Debo is just like a mixtape hustle type song to kind of get within some evening dredge. Just a good primer to have some excitement for what's getting ready to happen. Just some good moments of just finishing up the last minute task, some of that type of and getting ready to switch to what's particularly going on. It's a good type of appeal. There's actually not a ton of hustle songs on here within that pitch. The conduct behind it, like I said, this is more amidst like Friday, Saturday, Thursday nights as far as this pitch can happen, which is not a complaint whatsoever. It's just the pitch of just like the more kind of in between type moments, and there's not terribly many in-between type moments, but this is a good type conduct. Once again, it's just kind of questionable as to why Debo was not on this project more. He definitely should have been. I feel like his moments were particularly kind of fleeting, but it's just some excellent type appeals to kind of get some of these type moments. And just suffice to say that a lot of these moments on here are pretty damn excellent just within the appeals behind it. You know, we don't play around, and like all haters on me, some of these type pitches are just kind of continued venue type bops and pitches like that. Some of these type appeals I'd have to say just some excellent type fare. Pretty much all of these just have the initialness behind it. It's just more the concept of just how well you take the liking of some of these rappers that just don't have as much full-blown notoriety, because a lot of these folks are not around as much nowadays. After, you know, Dirt Gang kind of dried up once Slim Duncan died, and Waka Flocka kind of quit having as much ambition towards music. So it's just kind of the concept of this was some vicious type of appeal that really had the vibe behind it. So yeah, this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10. The social score is going to get probably either like a 9.75 or a 10 out of 10. I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10 just because it's not super common that I recommend every song on a project, especially out of 21 songs. It's pretty vicious just to be able to get that. So easily I'd have to say this project gets a 10 out of 10 just within the appeal. The drill is really vicious on here. Lex Luger gets some really great beats on here. There's some folks like Metro, TM88, 808 Mafia, possibly some of these type of folks that just really do it. The standard drill classic just within the pitch continues that sound of Flockavelli and Flockavelli by Flocka and Slim Duncan's Menace to Society. Some of those type of appeals that just has that real type prime, just the good concept of this vintage era 2011 2012 type mixtape fare is definitely one I would recommend just for the most part, because it just, like I was saying, with this mixtape probably only having like 8,000 9,000 downloads after all the time that it was around, this probably is like underappreciated within the tone. Just don't know how many full-blown folks even realize that Slim Duncan had a crew and as much gave Slim Duncan much of a chance. I mean, he was starting to get there, but it just kind of got cut short. This is within the appeal that these folks handle it. Slim Duncan really didn't even have to be. He is on here, just to say that once again, there are some songs that he's on here. I didn't denote these, but he is on at least 3 or 4 or 5 some of these types of songs on here. It's just not where he has like a song of his own like he did with Lights On or some of those type pitches, but it's just within the appeal. There's plenty of good product on here just to be able to get that. It's within the aspect. Some of these folks really do good. Just Rich Gates is a pretty good dude that does some of that drill type sound. He had like songs like Offsides and some of those type of ones. He had some real hit and quality songs like Pump Fakin' on the first Dirt Gang project, the new NWA. So it's just within the appeal. Just look for some of these type ones. If you see a Lex Luger beat, I'd go over some of those just because those are some of the most vicious club hits as far as those pitches kind of go. Just real great mixtape to get tore up to. Red cups everywhere, bitches twerking, some of that type of, just I'd say, or ladies twerking just in the pitch behind it. But it's an appeal. So in terms of the future, like the unfortunate thing is there's at least one more Dirt Gang type project to kind of get to within those appeals, but that's virtually it. After Slim Duncan passed, once again the group kind of dried up. But these members do have individual projects. Like I was saying, some of these folks like Just Rich Gates dropped a number of these. Day Day dropped a number of these. Debo has some more projects. I've gotten to a few of them. Slim Duncan obviously has more. Waka Flocka has plenty of mixtapes, even though I'm surprised that Waka Flocka wasn't on here at all either. The mixtape says that Waka Flocka was on the song Patron and Cranberry, but I really didn't catch a verse from him on that particular song. So I really want to say if he's on here, it's only like once, but I was not able to really locate him just within the pitch. But then Waka Flocka really didn't have to. He was kind of becoming even higher up just within the pitch as far as those pitch kind of happened. But yeah, just being able to say classic mixtape within the tone, just classic from like a classic era, just all those particular aspects knocks it out of the park. Just would have to say full blown just within the pitch behind it. So that's the concept. Definitely recommend downloading this mixtape and trying to track it down.